毎日ボクシングに向き合い、チャンピオンになることだけに集中しています。世界ランキングに入り、ようやく世界が見えてきました。ボクシングを始めた時から世界チャンピオンになる目標は変わっていません。必ず世界チャンピオンになります。皆様応援よろしくお願いします。
がここにいるうちの本物のスクールスポーツのために行こうぜベイビーバンとの国は気をつけて、現実になることがありますからね。
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and continue the long-standing tradition of covering Japanese boxing here on True School Sports. True School Sports, the number one source for Japanese boxing in America, for an American. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you to everybody tuning in, showing that love, support, and passion for the sport of boxing. I really, really appreciate it. Now, this is I'm thinking out loud here, guys. This isn't any news. This is more of like an opinion, all right? I'm thinking out loud here, and I want to throw this out there, and any of the American fans who know who this is, or any of the Japanese boxing fans who know who this is, can feel free to chime in. But I feel like there's a fighter from Japan who's not really getting the shine that he deserves. I feel like this particular fighter is literally right there on the cusp of fighting for a world title, but for some reason, he's just not getting the push from the powers that be to fight for the world title. And I really think that he, quite possibly in terms of talent, skill set, ability, is quite possibly the best light flyweight in the world. And that fighter is none other than Osaka, Japan's very own Yuga Ozaki. Yuga Ozaki, guys, I mean, I'll tell you this. Not only do I think he has a chance to win a world title, he's one of the only fighters, young fighters, that I honestly feel that could be the next face of Japanese boxing in the post-Naoya Inoue era. You know, there's plenty of guys that I think could win world titles. There's plenty of fighters I think could go on to achieve the status of becoming a world champion, but it's not many guys that I believe could do that and become the face of Japanese boxing after Naoya Inoue, the monster, inevitably decides to hang up his gloves and retire from boxing. Now, the reason why I think that is because, number one, Yuga Ozaki is a 5'6" light flyweight, which means he has the frame to fight at flyweight, super flyweight, and quite possibly bantamweight. He could actually be a 3 or 4 division champion. That's number one. Number two, he has a very fan-friendly style. He is a guy that, when you watch him fight, he fights with authority, and he jumps off the page. A lot of speed, a lot of power, great body puncher. He fights with the spirit of an American. He has the body punching of a Mexican, and he has the Bushido samurai toughness of a Japanese fighter. And the thing is, he's ranked in all top 15 of the sanctioning bodies. So he's right there. He's 14. He's 14 in the WBO. He's number 11 in the WBC. He's number 13 in the WBA, and he is number 11 in the IBF. So he's right there. And on top of that, he's from Osaka, which automatically sets him apart from the other fighters, because many of the big fighters in Japan, they're from like Tokyo, they're from Yokohama. Osaka is one of the biggest and most notable cities, not just in Japan, but in the entire world. And they don't really have many young fighters to speak of. He's probably he's Osaka's best chance at a boxing superstar right now in the sport. And when you talk about Osaka, Japan has like a population of 2.7 million, just the city of Osaka. But the Osaka metropolitan area, which factors in places like Kyoto and Kobe, the metropolitan area is like 19 million. It's only the second biggest behind Tokyo. So that being said, I think there's a big star potential because he can tap into a market that really isn't that tapped into when it comes to Japanese boxing. You understand? So not just that, and then I'm looking at the champions, right? I'm looking at the champions. I'm looking at like maybe I don't think he'll fight Kaosuke Takami, even though that was a fight I always wanted. I don't think he fights Takami. I think Takami already said he's gonna go up to super flyweight after he defends his belt. So that belt's gonna go vacant very, very soon. Carlos Canizales, I don't think they do the Canizales fight. I think they have other plans in store for that fight, for him as a fighter, right? But I'm looking at I'm looking at Rene Santiago, and I'm looking at Thang Simsiri, the IBF champion from Thailand. I'm looking at those two fighters, and I'm telling y'all right now, Yuga Ozaki, right now with 9 fights, could beat the brakes off both those guys and win a world title. I really, really believe that. And I want to throw this out there. I feel like one of the fights to make in Japan for Japanese boxing, I would like to see Yuga Ozaki either challenge the WBO title or the IBF title against Rene Santiago or Simsiri from Thailand. I think he can beat both those guys, and I feel like they should do one of those 2 fights on the undercard of Naoya Inoue versus Junta Nakatani. Because you gotta think about it, right? This kid has insane star potential. This kid's style jumps off the screen. This kid really is, in my opinion, along with Aoi Yokoyama and Yuta Sakai, those 3 right there in particular, he is one of the best prospects in Japanese boxing. And I think he has the highest ceiling of any prospect in Japanese boxing because of his frame, because of his skills, and because he's a little bit more, he's got more dimensions to his boxing style, you understand? So I'm looking at him fighting either one of those guys as a coronation of sorts of one of Japan's young stars who, if you're like really in the know, if you're really in the know, he's getting his shine amongst the boxing degenerates, but he's not getting that push that other Japanese prospects get because he's not really signed with a big TV network to my knowledge at this point. But what's crazy about Yuga is when I met him and I interviewed him, he was sitting with Bob Arum in Top Rank, but from what I had heard, they wanted to sign him, but for some reason it just never came to fruition. So, make it that what you will. Hopefully he can, straighten out his career soon, and because I think really if you're talking about a guy that should get every opportunity in the world in Japan to really show his skills on the biggest stage, it's Yuga Ozaki. If you're talking about a guy with the highest ceiling inside and outside the ring in terms of boxing accomplishments and going on to be the face of Japanese boxing in the post-Inoue era, he's got a chance because of his style, because of his frame. He's learning English, like I highlighted in another video, and he has a chance to be a multi-division champion. So my thing is, Yuga Ozaki, right now, I'm looking at the WBO champion and I'm looking at the IBF champion, and I think he beats the brakes off both of them. And I think he beats them in sensational fashion, and I think he would really announce himself to the world in a major way on the Inoue-Nakatani undercard. So, I'm gonna put this out there, and I want to know what the world thinks because it's really baffling my mind because he hasn't fought since December of last year. We're in August now. We're about to be in September. He should be fighting, man, and it's not happening. So hopefully they can sort it out. I would like to see Yuga fight by the end of the year, and hopefully by May when Inoue-Nakatani is supposed to happen. Of course, provided that they both win their next fights, I want to see him on the undercard of Inoue-Nakatani because if he can fight on that stage and win a world title, you're talking about a guy whose potential for something special in boxing is very, very high, and I want to put this out there. So yeah, you give me Yuga Ozaki versus Rene Santiago, you give me him versus Simsiri, and I promise you, he's beating the brakes off both those guys. With all due respect, I respect Santiago. He beat Shokichi Iwata. But this ain't no damn Shokichi Iwata. This is a guy with a higher level of skills. This is not your regular Japanese fighter who keeps his head on the center line. No. Yuga Ozaki will get in the pocket. He'll body punch. He'll get off to the side. He's got angles. There's a lot more with this kid, and I'm going to keep talking about him because nobody's talking about him. He's not really getting that push, and I'm like, damn, this guy really has a lot of potential, and, that's what it is. So, yeah, Yuga Ozaki. Inoue-Nakatani undercard. I want to see him fight for the IBF or WBO world title. Make it happen, please. Japanese boxing. And let's see if he is what I think he is. And let's see if he could go on to become something special in boxing. But yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.